Okay, so thank you very much for joining. So let us start this live stream, and I'm going to talk about full stack development here. It's going to be very exciting. So in this session, I'm going to talk about what is full stack development and how you can learn full stack development. Okay, so this session is all about the full stack development. Okay, so okay. So may I know, like, what is it like? What is it that you're doing? Are you a student, or like are you working somewhere? What are you doing? Can you please type in the chat? Yeah, just type in the chat, like, what's your background? Like, what are you doing? Are you a student? Okay. Are you know so full stack development? Okay, that's fine. Okay. Are you a student, or like are you a working professional, or what are you doing right now? Engineering student. Okay, that's fine. And then which year of engineering are you studying? Is it like final year, or like which year are you studying? Second year of engineering. Okay, perfect. That's very good. Okay, it's very good that you are getting to know about full stack development, because like you have 2 years of time with you. So if you actually focus and utilize this 2 years, the next 2 years in upskilling, for example, if you're using it for uh, learning these new skills, you'll become an expert in 2 years. So when you become an expert in 2 years, you'll be in demand in the market, because you'll be having some projects on your resume, and then people will be like giving you offers, and you'll be choosing from the offers, and right from day one you'll be like like a star player. So your team will love you, and then you'll be doing really good. Okay, how do you like that? Is that a good idea? Is it nice? Do you want to see yourself like that? Do you want to be like one of the best? Right, that's perfect. That's nice. That's right. Okay, that's absolutely perfect. And let me just do one thing here. Just taking the link of this and putting it everywhere, so that people, they can also see on YouTube, and they can see on Facebook, etc. Okay, so they'll be able to see it on different platforms. So that's the reason why. Let me just put it in the proper places and all. Okay, and then we'll get started, and then I'll be talking about multiple aspects of what is full stack development, what is a career in full stack development like, and all those things. All right. Okay, that's perfect. That's very nice. Okay, perfect. So here we go. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen, and then I'll start talking about it. Okay, just sharing my things. Perfect. Going to IT upskilling. All right. So here we go. So like, let's just discuss now, like, what is this full stack development and what does it contain? Okay, what is it like? What does it take to become a full stack developer? I'll talk about it. So before I go into that, let me just tell a little bit about myself. Okay. So first of all, I would like to thank you all for joining here. Thank you very much for joining and for this session. And for the next 90 minutes, I'm going to talk about what is full stack development. Okay, it's all about like full stack development here. And I'll be talking about like various things like what are the different career prospects that you will have being a full stack developer. Okay, so now let's just get started. So let me introduce myself, and I would like to just ensure that I want to give you a promise that for the next time, that the time that you're going to spend here is going to be very worthwhile. You're going to learn a lot. Okay, so I'm going to promise you that, and the next 70 minutes or so or 80 minutes or so will be like amazing learning for you. Okay, so now let's just get started. I would like to tell a little bit about myself. Is that okay if I can tell a little bit about myself? Yeah. Okay, so my name is Sridhar Jamal Madaka, and I have over 15 years of experience in IT. I've done MTech from Triple IT Bangalore, and I've worked in various companies like Oracle, Society General, Tata Technologies, Tech Mahindra, and so on. And I've worked in various roles from software engineer to senior software engineer to tech lead to right now I'm working as an architect. I'm working as an architect for one of the critical applications of India. So it's called Telemanas. So I'm one of the architects, working on that. And so that's about me. And let me tell you my journey. And so for the last 15 years, I'm into IT. But for the last 5 years, I'm into training. So I've been giving a lot of IT training. I've trained multiple people. I've trained various companies. I've given trainings to the freshers batch of Flipkart and PhonePe, etc. Okay, so that's about me. Okay, so now, and as a result of that, I started this program called Career Transformation Hub. So I'm the founder of Career Transformation Hub. And as a part of this, my goal is that I want to touch 1 lakh lives. Okay. And I want to help 1 lakh people launch their careers in full stack development and in IT development. So I want to share all the learnings that I have, whatever I've learned for the last so many years with everybody. Okay, so that's about me. And as a result of that, I've worked with various people. I've approximately worked with around 100 people or so who are like freshers who start from scratch. And I help them to come to a stage of being a very advanced developer. So, being a very, very confident IT full stack developer. How many of you would like to do? How many of you would like to be in that position? To see yourself in a very confident position, right? Where you are selecting offers. It's not that, companies, you are selecting the companies. It's not companies selecting you. Okay. So that's what I'm going to teach. I'm going to teach all of this. So I've done this for a batch of WAL. There's a company called WAL, and there were around 20 people of them. They were coming from scratch. They were just straight out of college. And I worked with them for 45 days. And in 45 days, I taught them HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Node.js, Express.js, React.js. And as a result of that, at the end of the 45 days, I'm sorry, at the end of the 45 days, they have become really, really, really good. Okay. So they were really good. And then those people who are hiring them, I mean, the WL company people, they were really, really thrilled about the results. that they had some people who are like, ready to just work on the projects. Okay. So that's the thing. So I would like to help get that kind of traction for people. So I'm going to help people. So today's session will be mostly around this. I'll be speaking about full stack development. I'll be speaking more about what is like the IT prospects and how things are, how the area is like, and what kind of jobs are possible, and how you can build from now to become a super solid full stack developer. So by the time you're entering into college, so at that time you'll be like super, super duper, super strong. Okay. So let me start now. So, so can I get a commitment that you'll stay till the end of this session? Is that okay? If I can ask you for that commitment? Yeah, you can put it in the chat. So it's like 1 hour, say 8:30 now. I'll take around 1 hour till 9:30. So can I get a commitment that you'll be around? Is that okay? Can you type yes in the chat? That's okay for you. Yes. Thank you. Okay, let's get started. So here we go. I'm just sharing a whiteboard here. Okay, I hope you're able to see my screen here. Let me do it once more with the whiteboard now. Yeah, here we go. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, let me do it once more. There's a little bit of sharing issue here. Let's do it now. Okay, here we go. So if you see, we are talking about the Indian IT industry, or I'll just say IT industry. Okay, this is the IT industry. So Indian IT industry as of now is an exporter of software. So what does it do? It export. We export software to the West, typically to the West or to different companies in the different parts of the world. Okay, so that's what we do. And now, so what happens here is this is like a major market. So it's $1 billion market. Okay. So it's like billions of dollars. So we get from the West and we export software. Okay. So that's what we are doing in Indian IT software. So we are here, okay, in this industry. So all we want is, so in this IT, we have different technologies, different kind of roles are available. So if you have to just think about it, what roles are there? Like I can just say, if you see this, so if you say this is one, this is two, this is three, like that. So right now we're focusing on one thing. We're not talking about everything here, but what we are talking about here is the full stack development, FSD. So full stack development is what we're talking about. So there are many fields like this. There is full stack development, there is DevOps, there is backend development, and then there is SAP, database, and artificial intelligence. So many fields are there. Okay. But right now, what we want is we just want a little bit of share of this. So it's like a huge market here. All we want is it's like very simple. Just want to be a part of this. Just be a part of this IT wave. Be a part of the full stack development. So right now, the full stack is like booming. It's booming like anything, like never before. Like never before. The enterprise IT is booming like anything. All right. So we don't know in the future, the mobile development can also pick up. Mobile development is already good, but for enterprises also, it may pick up. So maybe that's future. Okay. But right now, the web development is at the best. I mean, there's definitely like very good career in the full stack development. It's like an excellent move. So that's also called as the full stack. Why is that called full stack? So what's the stack? Stack is something like this, right? So you just put something on top of the other. So let's say there's like a stack of books, right? So this is like a stack of books or stack of CDs or stack of something here, okay? So let's say this is something, it's like you're stacking it up, okay? So what's this stack all about? Okay, this full stack is all about this, okay? It's about the database. It starts with the database and then comes the middleware and then comes the front end. And typically these two are combined together and they're called as the back end. So when we say back end and front end, it just refers to the interface, who is using this code, who is using the software. Okay, the software which is exposed to the end user. So let us say this is the user who's sitting on his laptop. Okay, so he's getting exposed to the front end. The front end, it goes to the middleware and then it goes to the database. Okay, let me explain this to you. Okay, let's just say that you go to a restaurant and then you are sitting here, okay, on a chair, on a table here, right? And then you're sitting here, okay, maybe with your friend, okay. So and then you're sitting here and then you see the menu here, right? And then you're ordering something and you're seeing and sitting here and happily seeing the menu. So this, you are sitting in a very nice place. There's a lot of decoration, everything, right? So there's so much of decoration here. Okay, there's some lightings, everything, interior, exterior, looking beautiful here, everything. Okay. So now, and then you order some food, and then there's some waiter who's coming, and then he's taking the order. And then he takes the order and he enters inside a room, which is not shown to you. Okay. Something is happening there. So typically there is some kind of stoves, chimneys, and then there is like the food repository is there here. The raw materials. So there'll be chefs here. This guy is going to take the order and is going to go to the chef, and then he's going to give the order to him. And then what happens next? What happens next? The chef takes the food material and prepares your favorite shahi paneer with naan, paratha, everything, and he just gives it to the waiter. And the waiter is serving you. Similarly, there is another table here where is another person sitting here, and he's seeing the menu again, and then he's calling this guy or maybe somebody else, and then this guy goes there and he takes the order and he gives to the chef, and chef is cooking, and this is like the order number 1 and order number 2, and he's giving them the thing. Is it clear so far? So now how do we connect this with software? You see, your interaction with the waiter is the front end. So the menu, whatever you're saying, you're selecting something from the menu, right? You're saying, okay, I want this, I want to eat this, I want to eat that, I want to eat shahi paneer, I want to eat palak paneer, I want to eat this, whatever you want, your favorite dishes. Okay, you're seeing and you're selecting here, and then what is it that you're doing? You're going to give an order to this guy, okay, and then the waiter is taking all the orders, and then he's taking and he's giving to the chef. So this is what is called as a back end. Make sense? Yes. Type in the chat. Makes sense. MS. It makes sense that you're able to get it. You're able to follow it. Make sense? Okay. All right. Thank you. So now, so this is what is happening. So this is what typically happens in um, software architecture. Okay. So every person who is entering into the website is called as a client. Okay. And this is a client request. Okay. So every client has got some request. The client requests are coming, and then this is called, very coincidentally, it is called as server. That's what we call in the hotel as well, isn't it? We say server. Server, come here. So that's what is happening here. The server is, the client, there are multiple clients here. So many different kinds of clients. It's not one or two. So if you just imagine how many people are logging into Facebook now, how many people are logging into Google now, how many people are opening Gmail now, how many? It can be hundreds, it can be thousands. How many people are opening Wikipedia now? It can be 10,000, it can be 1 lakh, it can be 10 lakh people at the same time, it can be 1 crore people at the same time. So many of them, right? All of them have unique requests. Okay, let's say I'm requesting something. I want to see something here. Okay, I'm watching a movie. I want to watch a movie on YouTube. Okay, so when I'm going to ask for my request should not go to the other person. Correct? It should come back to me. Just like I go to the hotel and I say, I want veg kolhapuri. But then this guy brought me something else. Maybe he brought mixed veg handi. That's not what I want. So the server is like a software which is like serving all the requests that it gets. So we have to remember something: when there's a client and a server architecture, it is always that the client starts the conversation. In a hotel, of course, sometimes the server comes and asks, "Sir, what is the order? Are you ready for the order?" But ultimately, it is you who has to choose it. The server is not going to choose anything for you, isn't it? Is the server going to bring something and say, "Okay, I thought you wanted this"? How would be your reaction? The server is going to bring something and say, I know every time you order this, that's why I brought it. May like it, may not like it, right? So the client always starts the request and the server responds. The server responds, okay? So the server, there are a lot of things going on behind this screen, okay? Just like how a lot of things are going on in the kitchen that you don't know what's happening. A lot of cooking is happening and everything is happening, dressing is happening, and a lot of things are happening, and then you're coming back, okay? So similarly, the server typically connects to a database. So this is a database, and the database is having a lot of data. So this is your tables. Okay, let's say that now you want to see how much marks you scored for your examination. So what are you going to enter? You're going to enter your roll number. Enter your roll number, and then so the thing is, the client is making calls to the server, and the server is going to the database, and the database has a lot of tables. So for example, if you have entered your roll number XY123, you put your username and password, the server is going to go and fetch for this table. Okay, it's going to look for the table called results. Okay, it's going to look for one column where it matches you XY123. This is your record. And then in this table, all your marks are there. Maybe it's grades now, right? So you got A grade, B grade, A plus, B plus, all your grades are here. Okay. So it's going to fetch this table, and then it's going to come back here, and it's just going to serve you. It's only going to show you. It's not going to show you anybody else. Okay. So this is what is happening behind the scenes. This is called as so this is a part of the full stack development. So who is a full stack developer? Who is that person? Whom can you call a full stack developer? What is his profile like? So the profile of a full stack developer looks like this. What are the technologies he must be knowing? Okay, and what kind of knowledge he must have? Let's just decode that now. Interested to know what kind of technologies that the guy uses? Right? Yes, let's just check it out. Just give me a moment and I'm just checking out. Things are live. Yeah, perfect. All right, let's continue. All right, let's just continue here. So what's happening here is, so what are the technologies and tools and technologies that a full stack developer must typically have? Let's talk about that in detail. Okay, let's just take, this is the full stack developer's profile. This is a full stack developer's profile, right? So what are the things that he must be knowing? Okay, let's just see that. So I would say he must know something like programming languages. You must be knowing one programming language properly. Okay, what are the examples of that? What are the examples of that? Let's just see. Examples of a programming language, very typical: Java. India has the most number of Java developers in the world. And Java is not going anywhere away at the moment. There's no competition for Java. Java is still doing good. So programming languages Java can be the other programming, backend programming languages. What else? Python, a very, very powerful language, which is like going really good. Yeah, C++. That's right. Okay, C++. And you have, what else do you have? Yeah, C++ for game development. Perfect. You have so many other languages like .NET, C Sharp. All right. And you have Golang. And you have Scala. Okay. And the front end technologies. Okay, this is about backend technologies. And of course, the JavaScript also comes into picture. Sometimes can be used in the backend as well. Okay, JavaScript. Yeah, C Sharp done. Correct. Swift. Okay, Swift. Perfect. Okay, so this is a programming language one should know. And now, if you're going to talk about what are the front end frameworks that one must know. So, okay, let's just talk about the front end frameworks now. So now let's say this is front end framework. They are typically JavaScript frameworks. So in the programming language, you can have one more called the TypeScript, right? So it's like the cousin of JavaScript. So it's a superset of JavaScript, right? Okay, front end framework. And so the front end framework is like, so what are the examples of front end framework? Give me some examples. What is the most popular front end framework as of now today? JavaScript framework. Yeah, JavaScript framework. React.js. Okay. Angular. Very famous. Okay. Express. And we forgot Node.js here. Node.js. Yes, that's right. And then we have Vue.js. And we have jQuery. And many more technologies are there. Okay, these are called as front end frameworks. Okay, what else do you need to know? Ajax, yeah, Ajax is all like a part of, yeah, it's all like, yeah, these are like some kind of basics. Okay, front end, this is like a framework. Okay, let's deal with this. Okay, what are the basics that one must know? Basics. So this is like some basic stuff. HTML, obviously must be knowing HTML. JavaScript we already covered here, so I'll put CSS here. So, but even if it is redundant, that's fine. I can just put JavaScript here as well. JavaScript is like a must. You must know what is JavaScript and HTML and CSS. All right, and some more basics can be, you can know a little bit of Linux commands. It's very useful to know. And of course, we can have some fancy things like the cloud technologies. Okay, let's talk about cloud now. So have some knowledge of cloud. It can be AWS, it can be Azure, or it can be GCP, Google platform. All right, so this is like the cloud part of it. And then what else? Like we covered the programming languages, front-end frameworks, basics, cloud, and everything. Okay, now let's talk about the backend or the database. The database, so you can be knowing within the database, there are again two types. One is relational database. It's called RDBMS, which is the most popular one. And what are the most popular ones here? Come on. What are the most popular databases? PostgreSQL. What else? MySQL. What else? SQL Server. Okay. Other than that, we have no SQL database. So what are the examples of no SQL database? What is the most popular one? Any guesses? What's the most popular no SQL? It's MongoDB. Okay. And then, or it can be something like Cassandra. Apart from this, you must be knowing REST API. What's REST API? Okay, that's one technology. Okay, it's like I maybe if I get some time, I'll talk about REST API now. Okay, I'll cover some bit of all of this. So now you need to know a little bit about REST API. It's not Rust, it's REST, R-E-S-T. Representational State Transfer. It's API. Of course, it doesn't need to be REST. It can be, you can just call it API. Okay, let's call it API. Let's just call this API. And among them, there are multiple types. Again, REST is one of the popular type of an API. There can be gRPC, REST, etc. So, but then REST is very popular. So let's just stick with REST. So this API you should know. And apart from that, you can know some advanced stuff here. So this can be a little bit advanced now. For a fresher, may not be required. This is called as a message broker. Okay, or you can have a cache. Message broker, we have many examples of message brokers. Kafka, RabbitMQ. Okay, and things like that. Okay, or etc. Okay, also you can have something like called as Hazelcast. You can have memory in-memory database. So cache can be one example. Redis is one example of a cache. 1 minute. So let's not. Yeah. So RabbitMQ. And we have the caching technologies, right? So I was talking about Redis. And we're talking about Hazelcast. So things like this, You need to know all of this, and API is very, very important. And also, like, there's something called as microservice architecture. So it's a part of the API. So they call it as a microservices. So these are needed. Okay, microservices. You need to know the microservice architecture. So typically, all of this, if you have on your resume, you're good to go. You're very good. Okay. Now, is it sounding very overwhelming to hear so many technologies? Should I learn so much now? Are you feeling overwhelmed that you have to learn so much now? What are you feeling? Tell me it's fine. How are you feeling now after hearing all this? What's your feeling? What do you think? What's your reaction after seeing so many technologies, right? There's a long way to go. Yeah, there is a long way to go. That's what feels. But what if I tell you it's not so difficult? It's just like consistent effort, okay? Consistent effort. You know how it works? So they do it like, okay, let's say that you have to walk a mountain. It's like a mountain. So it starts with one step, okay? One step at a time, correct? And then one day you'll make it. So you should not take it step by step, chunk it, and this is time, okay? So this. What is more important is you are not stopping. See, let us just imagine, okay, this is like the month number 1, month number 2, month number 3, month number 4. You came till here and stopped here. Time is just going on forward. Okay, so that's not useful. So the thing is, you have to climb and you have to go step by step. All right. So it's going to, so all these technologies, it's possible. You can get it. So despite getting all these projects, there's some more things that you have to work on, okay, to be able to get a job. What is that? You should have programming knowledge. I mean, of course, you're right. You're learning all of this, but then if I'm going to ask you a program, okay, if I ask you, can you write a program which does this? Can you write a program which can uh, check if a string is palindrome or not? For example, you should be able to do that. You should have programming language. If I ask you some basic programs, you should be able to actually write it on paper. So programming language, and then should work on your communication skills. Should be able to speak well. Okay, and communicate with the interviewer. Demonstrate that you can speak well. And then you can talk about your uh, hobbies if you're a fresher. If you're some, I mean, you don't talk about hobbies when you're an experienced developer because they talk about technologies and past experience. But if you're a fresher, they may ask you, what are your hobbies like? What do you do? And that's also like, you can show your project portfolio. That is like projects. What's a project portfolio? So it's like the list of projects that you have done. So this is like the project number 1, project number 2, project number 3, project number 4, project number 5. When you list it down on your resume, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go to give a Git repository link for it. Okay, GitHub link. So then, it establishes trust. So what happens as an interviewer? An interviewer sees that, okay, this guy is, okay, I remember I'm asking some questions. I asked him some basic questions, okay, like introduce yourself. His communication is good. His attitude is nice. I like him. Okay, his programming is good. He's able to write some programs. Okay, he's able to communicate, answer me well. Okay, he's got some positive hobbies. Okay, wow, this is very nice. He's got some nice project portfolio. He's actually worked on something. Okay, first reverse the number and check if the same. If it is same, then it's a palindrome. Yeah, that's perfect. That's right. That's how you should check it. Correct. You should just reverse it and check if it's a palindrome or not. That's right. That's perfect. So then, you check your portfolio and then you see, I see, okay, you did something. And then I see, and then I'm going to pick up one question and say, okay, can you talk about this project number 3? Then you go. So this project, this blah 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 blah. I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. I mean, if it's impressive, I mean you're selected. I mean, like it should not be like you just put some projects which are not yours. I mean, you don't even remember what you did there. Then you'll be rejected. Okay, and then some HR questions like why do you want to be? Why should I hire you? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Stuff like this. Okay, if somebody can see your project portfolio and they can see like whether okay this is like live programming. Apart from that, there's one more thing that I missed here. That's like technologies. What is the technologies that you know? Do you know full stack development? I mean, you can put okay. You can say what? Yeah, you have some project, but some college projects will start. Yes, you should not wait for the college projects. You should create the projects yourself. Okay, that's my policy. What I would say is you should do your own projects. And I give a lot of projects for people. I conduct a lot of hackathons. I make people work on weekends and make them or teach them technologies through this weekend. In a weekend, you learn a lot. What you can learn in a month, you learn in a weekend. Okay, with the help of the hackathons. That's what I do. I teach through hackathons, practical learning. I give some challenges and that's what I do. So technologies, they're going to see what programming language you know. And okay, this guy knows Python, he knows Django framework, okay, he knows React JS, okay, very nice. Okay, he knows MongoDB. Okay, he's selected. It's more than enough. More than enough. Okay, he's actually used these technologies and actually he's given the Git repository also. I can open it and check the code. I can ask some questions and yes, this guy is good. I'll hire him. Okay, and that's a service-based company. If it's a product-based company, they're going to ask a lot of questions on algorithms and data structures. Okay, algorithms and data structures. If you want to go for a product company, if you want to go for a services-based company, this is more than enough. Full stack development. They can find a full stack. You're hired. It's amazing. They see something on AWS or cloud. That's it. You're 100% hired. Just have to get the basics right. Of course, as from a fresher point of view, fresher interview, there are some additional things from technologies that is always there. Because what happens when you go as a fresher, there are some rounds that are done. The round one, for example, they'll give you an aptitude test. So you should be good at aptitude. So if you're not clearing this test, you're not going to go to the next round. So maybe there can be round two, which can be some kind of group discussion, for example. Possible. I don't know. They can filter out here. It can be some kind of round three. There can be some kind of technical interview. So where they will ask you some solid questions. What did you learn? What do you know? And then the round four, HR. HR interview. So again, technical interviews can be one or two, multiple, depends. Okay. So, but then so you should be good at aptitude also. You should know a little bit about group discussion and, should be good at technical interviews. You should be able to clear all these questions, confidently answer, talk about your subjects, talk about your achievements, and then, get the job. Okay. Making sense? Am I making sense? Is that okay? Are you with me? Type WU with you. If you're with me. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So far, do you have any questions? Any questions now? We'll take some questions. If you have any questions, let's just take some questions. Any questions? We'll just take some questions. Okay. No questions. Yeah, I have to master some skills, but the college timings. Okay, that's going to be a challenge. So what are your college timings like? What are your college timings? How much time do you get in a week? So like, are you occupied all the 5, 6 days? How many days is that week? Is it a 5-day week or a 6-day week or a 7-day week? College. Type in the chat. 6-day week, right? All right. So on Sundays, you just chill out and you just catch up with your friends, right? Just take a break, isn't it? Is that what you do on Sundays? You get some time on Sundays? College assignments. So they keep you busy all the time. Which college are you from? And which city? Which college and where? Ahmedabad. Okay. LJ, Ahmedabad. All right. So they're keeping you very busy then. So that's going to be a little challenging. Okay. So I'll tell you something very important. Okay. I'll tell you something. I found something very powerful recently. Okay. Very powerful. You know, I'll just show you the mathematics. It's like this. Okay. If you can spend every day 15 minutes, only 15 minutes, if you can spend daily for 6 days a week, maybe Sunday you can take a break. You know how many hours is that? Can you put in the chat how many hours is that? Okay, it's 1.5 hours a week. Am I right? 240 minutes. Yeah, 240 minutes. 6 5 is 30. 616, 90 minutes, right? It's 90 minutes. It's 90 minutes, okay? 1.5 hours. And if you can make it 20 minutes, okay, let's just do it 20 minutes. Let's see what happens. Let's just slightly increase this. Make it 20. How much is that now? 120 minutes. That's 2 hours. That's per week. Okay. And how many weeks do you have? If you are consistently doing it, how many weeks are there in a year? 52 weeks, right? 53 weeks. 52 to 53 weeks. If you can do this, you have how many hours do you have? Yeah, 53. Okay, just put it 53, 54. Okay, 53. Okay, let's just make it 54. How much is 54 multiplied by 2? That's like 108 hours. Okay, it's almost like, let's say, if you're going to put it like 8 hours per day. I mean, like, let's say in man days, how many days is this? I mean, if I have to quantify it, how many man days is that? If I 8 ones are 8, 8 to the 6. Okay, so these many hours you're going to get 108 hours per year. Okay, and if you can get some holidays, you can get some additional hours. Let's say we put some holidays. Okay, you can get some additional 72 hours on holidays. So you can have around 200 hours per year. So 2 years, you have 400 hours. I tell you, in 400 hours, you can master all of these skills. What are the skills? HTML, CSS, JavaScript, one at a time. Okay, one at a time. That's the secret. React.js or Node.js or Java or Python, database like MySQL, and a little bit of cloud, or just do it like APIs. Just let's call it REST APIs. REST APIs. Okay, and all of this, how much time do you need? I'll tell you how much time you need for mastering this. Okay, you have to learn HTML. See, I taught all of this and more than that in 45 days. So it was like 45 days of intensive workshop with hands on, almost like 8 hours per day. So that was like 8 for 40, 32, almost like 360 hours. Okay. So 360 hours is what it takes, right? 360 hours. But you have 400 hours here. So whatever I am teaching 45 days of like content, you can finish it in 2 years and you can actually put everything on your resume, including projects. I mean, my program is also about projects. Okay, in my program, I have projects also. So there's some live projects also. Those projects also will be a part of it. You can put it on your resume, and when you're joining the company, you're almost like a 1 year experienced guy. While everybody is learning to do programming, you're way ahead. You're way ahead of others. Okay, so this is the power of consistency. This is the power of practice. This is the power of coaching. So the simple thing is you have to be a part of a group. Should be a part of my group. You be a part of my group, and then you will be consistently learning something new. All right. So I'm starting some kind of hackathons. I'm starting a lot of things. I'm starting my program very soon. So that's the reason why I'm getting a lot of people now. And slowly I'm recruiting people. I'm going to start some programs very soon. Okay. So this is what happens. So yeah. So we have here. Okay. So what we're doing here is I was talking about the full stack development part. So how do we go about learning? I mean, what's my style of teaching? I'll tell you what's my style of teaching. Okay. So for example, if I were to teach JavaScript, you know how I would teach? This is how I will teach. First, I'll break it down into concepts. For example, we have how to do dates in JavaScript. We have strings in JavaScript. We have functional programming like ES6 or ES 2017. That's what they call it, right? So in JavaScript, right? And then we have object-oriented programming in JavaScript. How to create objects, modules, etc. Okay, and then we have of course, the basics are always there. Apart from that, regular expressions or what else? Yeah, you can talk about regular expressions. So I take up these concepts like this, and then I give assignments for each of them, small assignments, short assignments, which you can finish. Okay, I give a proper assignment. You read the document and do what is given in that. It will be like a practical assignment, and then you have to upload it in the website. Okay, and the website will evaluate it. So for where we get info about events that I do for coders, right? So just be a part of my group. I'll share my details. Like I'll just share with you my WhatsApp group link right now, Facebook group and WhatsApp group. I'll just share with you right now. You can just use that. Is that okay? So you can just be a part of my WhatsApp group. So that's where I'll be like posting a lot of stuff. My Facebook group and my WhatsApp group. Okay. So you can just join here. Just use this, put your user ID and password, I'm sorry, put your full name and email address here and register, and then you'll be redirected to a Facebook page. And from there, you can be able to come to my Facebook page. Just come to my Facebook page from there. Okay. So from there, you'll come to my Facebook page, and then from their Facebook page, you just give an invite. Okay, that's one. And I'll give you my WhatsApp WhatsApp group link. So if you can become a part of my WhatsApp group with this. Become a part of my WhatsApp group. Okay. And yeah, you can always message me and you can talk to me. Yeah, I can see that you're asking for approval. I'm just approving you. Yeah, I'll be posting all the details here. Okay, all the future events, I'm going to put it there. Okay, welcome. I'll just show you a little bit about how it looks. Can I show you how it looks? Hands on. Let's do some hands on now. We spoke a lot of theory now. How does it look? How does it manifest at a code level? Let's just see a little bit of code level. Is that okay? Let's see some code level. Let's do it. All right, let's do some code level now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share my screen now. Okay, so here is my screen and I'm opening a software here called as VS Code. Okay. And here is some software. Okay, I'm just going to close this editor here. Close the whole project. So first of all, let me tell you what is this VS Code. VS Code is a software which is very popularly used. It's called as IDE. IDE means Integrated Development Environment. It is used for writing code. Okay. So I'm going to close folder here. All right. And then I'm just going to show you a sample of how it looks. So let's do something. Let's just go to the React website. Okay. Let's just go to React.js website. And I just want to show you some React.js getting started tutorial. Okay. Let's just go to that. So I'll just show you step by step. How do you follow along? Okay. So I go to getting started with React and then here, let's just start with this. So we'll start like a practical tutorial. Okay. Okay. So how we are going to do it is like, let's go to some tutorial. Okay. I'm not finding a proper tutorial. Okay, let's just say getting started with React. Installation. Let's start with installation. So the way you're going to install is like this. So first of all, you're going to first of all create this npx create next app. Okay, I'm going to take this, go here and click on the command palette and open the terminal here. Okay, let me open the terminal here. Let's just open a terminal here. Yeah, here is the terminal. I'll open a bash terminal or a command prompt. Okay, command prompt is also. Okay, here is a command prompt, and then I will go to code folder if it's there, or maybe it's inside the documents. Maybe it's inside the documents. Okay, maybe it is here. Okay, and then I'm going to create a directory here, and I'm going to call it like React.js first. Okay, and then I'm going to go inside React.js first. Okay, and then I'm going to type this out here. So he's saying npx create app, npx create next app at the latest. I'm installing the npx latest version. So it's going to get the latest version of React.js now. Okay, so it's saying what's the name of your project? I'm going to say my first React app. Would you like to use TypeScript? I'll say no. And would you like to use ESLint? I'll say okay, yes. Do you want to use Tailwind CSS? Not at the moment. Would you like to use SRC directory? Not really. App router at the moment? No. So I'll say, would you like to customize the default? No. So now it's just installing the project. See how it's interesting. Okay, I tell you, full stack development is very exciting because you know what's exciting about full stack development is you get to see what you're building. Okay, you can see what you're building here. Like you know, you can actually whatever code that you write, you can run it and you can just see it working. Okay, so let's see. I know the project will be up right now in a moment. So what am I doing right now? You know what I'm doing right now? I'm creating a new React project. Just to show you, like, show you things, hands-on things, how it's like to code. Okay, here is the thing, it's done. Success. So I'm going to go to this folder now and say cd react.js. I'll say um, cd react and cd my react. Okay, now I have to open this folder here. So I'll just go to code here. Yeah. So what is the name that we gave? Okay, it's not right. My React, correct? React.js first, right? My React first step. Okay, done. Open it. Here we go. Here is our project. Okay, this is how index.js looks. Okay, now let's just make this run. How are you going to make it run? So let's just check it out. It says, and let's see what happens next. So it just says, okay, let me just go to the command prompt. So go to this and say npx run build. Okay, so we'll have to figure it out. He will allow it. Okay, maybe they changed the whole thing. Let's see. How to build and run a React app. Let's just see that. So it's like npm start. npm start. Let's just do npm start. There's some problem with this. So now what do you do when you get problems? When you run into problems, what is it that you do? This is also I teach. Something that I teach is what do you do when you run into problems? So this is also an art that you need to learn. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to see what's wrong. It's saying no such file or directory open my React first app dot next build ID. So there's nothing called as dot next here. So something went wrong with this project. I mean, this configuration is gone for a toss. It's not like working the way it is supposed to be working. Okay. So we'll have to figure it out now. What exactly is going on? Okay. What's the problem here? Let's just find it out. Okay. Fine. So let's do it from the scratch then. Something is wrong with the project. What I would do is like, so there are two options. Either you scrap it off, or just try to debug. Let's just try to debug. So how do you debug? You know, just copy the whole stuff here and take it, go to Chat GPT, the best place. Okay, and you're going to say, paste it here and say, getting this error with latest React. So it's giving me some ideas to how to fix it. Okay, let's just try to do that. It says like gonna create a folder called dot next here. Let's just try it out if it works. Say dot next. And then it says, look, create a file called build ID. Okay, a file ID, use some number here and try it now. So it looks like there is some problem with the project initialization. So I would say right now what we should do is we should start something fresh again. Okay, let's try to do that. So what we'll do right now is like create React app and say React app one. Just do that. Let's just do npx create React app. I'm creating a new React app now, and let's install the whole thing. And let's see how it works. Okay. Going to take a little bit of time. We'll wait for that. So what's happening here is this is how like full stack development looks like. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create a new project from React. Okay, once I create some new project, I just want to have some kind of test project and just make it work. Maybe something like hello world program from it. Okay, so as a part of programming, we run into a lot of issues. So that's like happens every single time. So we must know how to recover from the errors. So it comes with experience, whether is it worth pursuing that problem or whether it is started from scratch. It comes with experience. Okay, so that's what we are doing. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to create another application from here. Okay, this is one way to do it. You can use the VS Code and then you can write your code. The other way is there are some online code editors which are available. Okay, using the online code editors also you can get started immediately. You don't have to wait a lot of time. So let's just see how it works. The online code editors, how it works. I'll just show you how, by the time this is building here, I'll just show you some online code editors. So if I have to try something like, I'll say code pen and say React template, React example, React example, React example. Just see this. Simple React component example. Just see. So say hello and just say something is here. Right? It's loading here. It's trying to load the whole thing. It's not done yet. It's loading. Done. You see this? This is the HTML, this is the body, and this is like the JavaScript. So inside the JavaScript, you're writing this, all of this. Yeah. Yes. Okay. I'll give you my LinkedIn also. Thank you for asking that. So my LinkedIn profile is here. Yeah, this is my LinkedIn profile. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, that's my LinkedIn profile. Okay, so now what I can do here is I can change this code here. Instead of putting all of this here, I'll just going to remove all of this and save it, asking me to sign up. I remember I had a username with this, allowing me inside. That's great. Now, what do we do here is, let's just wait for this to load whole thing. Okay, now here we said div. Now let's just put a header here, h1, and say h1, and say hello world. Save it. Now see what happens. You see what happened? I typed something here and then it came up here, right? You see how it works? That I can put something else here. I can put a button here, just say click me. Okay. Now just see what happens. Click me. You see, this is how it works. Okay, now let's just get back and see if this is working here. Okay, here is this. Let's go to the CD React app 1. And let's just close this folder and open another folder. Okay, just close this folder and open the folder inside Sridhar. I had put it inside the code. Inside the code, React.js first, React app. Select this now and open the index.js. Open the terminal here. Okay, and just say npx npm start. Just see what happens. It's going to start the server now and it's going to show my first page. All right. So it's starting the development server. And then here we go. Here is the React application. That's going to come up here. Okay. So this is how, so this is the React app now. Okay. Now I can go here and then just go to the app.js here and delete all of this code and just put some code which I want to put. Okay, I'm going to say, hi all, this is Sridhar. Okay, and then in the next line, I'm going to put, welcome to Career Transformation Hub. The next line, I'm going to put, happy learning. Okay, now see what happened. Hi all, this is Sridhar. Hi all, this is Sridhar Jamal Murka. Welcome to Career Transformation Hub. Happy learning. So what we're going to use, so we're going to write code like this here. Okay, and then it's going to reflect here. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So full stack development is a lot of fun. Okay, any questions now? I'll take some questions. Do you have any questions? Any questions now? Anybody has any questions here? You can put it in the chat or unmute yourself. Either way it works. Any specific question that I can answer for you? Anything that's troubling you? Anything you want to know about IT? Anything? Feel free to ask.
Hi, Sridhar.
Hi, Umakan. Tell me.
Sorry, I couldn't join earlier.
Not a problem.
Yeah, there was an internet issue since.
That's fine.
Yeah. Sridhar, I'm working as a Power BI developer uh, in one of the corporates here in Hyderabad. And No, I started learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript because I find that gap when I was working as an MIS. I started my journey in Excel basically. Then I've learned VBA, then I've learned Power BI. So as I said, I work for an healthcare company where when I joined that company, I have seen all the templates they are still using. We are still using in the Excel basically, but I wanted to create forms. And I wanted to reduce that gap between the user and the manager, data analytics, basically, the data analytics team, basically. So wherein, I thought of learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, by which, I thought of learning that. I have joined an institute, but, due to, time constraint and that I couldn't continue that. But, there has been always, bugging me. That has been always bugging me, how do I restart? Where do I restart again? And also, I came across, within the Power Platform. If you have heard, within the Power Platform, I have heard about Power Apps and all, wherein I was just going through a few videos and I thought, okay, this would give me some solutions in creating forms, wherein I can share it to my team, wherein they can enter the data, and in the back end, I would store in one of the database, or in Dataverse. But I'm still in a confusion, saying in a confusion mode where I have to learn the traditional tools, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, or do I have to go with Power Platform, apps like Power Apps, or Power Pages, which are actually booming now.
Okay. So if I understand your question, you're asking you want to go with full stack development, like completely out of the Power BI or within the framework of Power BI, whatever customizations that they have.
Right. I can switch on my, yeah, okay. Yes, 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 Sridhar, yeah. Hi.
How many years of experience do you have?
I have 7+ years of experience, wherein I initially, worked on a lot of Excel projects, freelancing. Then I joined a company. Then later, I've been working in that, but still I see some gap, in creating applications. We have a development team. We have a huge development team, but we work independently and they work independently. So we haven't reached out to them. We have reached out to them for one application, but that did not work out. Wherein I manage the data, and I thought, why couldn't I develop a form? Wherein why can't I develop a form where I can fetch the data in a day wise? When I thought, which technology is best suited to develop a form and capture the data. I've explored, I've seen so many things, but I just came across this Power Apps. What do you suggest? I've asked this question in one of the meetups recently, whether where one of the trainer was showing, okay, you can develop interactive forms using Power Apps and all, but when she showed the demo, she was also showing me a custom developed component using HTML. Then I thought, do you really recommend? Do you really recommend learning HTML, CSS, or JavaScript for getting into Power Apps? She said, she also said me that that is not required initially. You just have to have some basic knowledge, not much of it. But I'm in doubt whether to switch my to learn Power Apps. Do I have to have this HTML, CSS knowledge and all? How is this gonna be in future? If we learn Power Apps
How
and
is
all.
it for your future as a career?
Yes, yes, as a career enhancement, yeah.
See, the way I look at it is like this, that Power BI is one of the booming things at the moment. Am I right? So
Right.
it's going really good. So it's a very good market. So if you want to go deeper, I would say if there is something in the ecosystem that they have with respect to developing forms, if Power Apps is the thing which they are offering in their ecosystem for developing forms, go for it. That's how
Okay.
I look at it.
Okay.
But if you're going to go with a complete bespoke custom JavaScript development, it's going to completely sidetrack you into a completely different zone.
Okay.
You can learn, you can practice a little bit of JavaScript and HTML and stuff like that. That's
Mhm.
fine. But just for practice. But if you're going to go a lot of depth, like React JS, Angular, I mean, there's a lot of learning that's, a lot of energy that you have to put to get there. And ultimately, it may not be useful also for you so much, as much as you really want. I mean, it's just about one form. Then if they have something like in their ecosystem, like Power Apps is the thing, just go for it. Simple, rather than just exposing an API from Power BI and creating a custom solution, integrating them. That's a lot of work. That is my take.
Okay.
This is what
Okay.
an initial take. I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
go too deep into it.
Thank you, Sridhar. Because I have always, this question has been bugging me always. Because of course we work on scenario based always. When you are in this company, you might find this as a challenge, and you might, see some technology, which gives you a solution for this. But in the real time, if I move to another company, this particular thing, what I've learned here or what I've done here, might not help in that particular way, or that scenario might not occur. But always, any development, any coding language would definitely help in the future. But I would I would see that as a real gap in my particular system, particular company what I'm working for. That's the reason I have asked. And always it bugs me, when there is a
And
solution. Okay, why can't I learn this coding language where it gives me a solution? That's been always bugging me actually. Yeah.
okay, so here is the thing, right? It can also be the psychological feeling. It can be like that also,
Correct.
that there's some gap, something like that. But factually, there may not be any gap. We all go through such kind of things, right? So you just have to reflect a little bit upon this, that um, what is really bothering you. I mean, like, just if I'm ask you some questions, okay? Let's say, okay, what's like the worst thing that can happen if you have a gap? Let me just go deep. What's your worst
Uh,
fear? What is your worst fear?
okay, my worst fear is, I would say the technology. Technology is moving very forward, and I would see that companies are demanding multiple skills, for a particular job. Where I get into a comfort zone, as in a career or as in a personal way, we get into a comfort zone for some years, right? So we have to move with this particular technology. What is running in the market. If I say when I'm into Power BI, right? In Power BI itself, we have M language, we have R, we have we can integrate Python, we can do DAX, right? And we can write codes in Python. There are a lot of technologies or a lot of coding language associated to that, right? My biggest fear is, will I when working for a project or when working for a company where you do not face that particular scenario in the real work time, how do you gonna compete with the market, or how do you gonna be in that particular race, right? So how do you do that basically, and how do you take out the time to learn something new every day, every week, or every month?
I got it. I got
Yeah.
it. So I'll just share my screen. Is that okay? Can I share my screen and just show you
Please,
something?
please, please, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. So here is the thing. So the concept is like this, that when you're learning some technologies, okay, let's say this is like technology one, and let's say this is like technology two, technology three, technology four, maybe this is like technology n. Okay, there are some technologies which are compatible, which naturally go together. There are some which don't. Do you agree?
Yes, I do agree. For me, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, it looks like some alien thing, when I come from an Excel and learn this. Yeah,
Yes. And actually, I tell you, Power BI is all about data visualization. Yeah, somebody was asking what's Power BI.
correct. Open was asking. Yeah, yeah,
Data visualization, right? So
yeah.
what's data
It's a data.
visualization? So it's like you have data here, and you want to visualize it, and maybe in reports or charts or things like that. Am I right? This is what it is.
Correct, correct,
There's a lot of, it's like a charting platform and reporting platform. And now, how do you get this data? There can be multiple ways to get the data.
correct. We have
Can be
multiple
it can
sources
be
where we can get it
SQL,
from multiple
it
sources.
can be R, it can be Python, it can be MongoDB, it can be anything. Am I right? Am I right?
Correct. Yeah.
And then you will be like, maybe in the worst case, maybe like Power BI, maybe this you can integrate into another website, maybe as an iframe. I don't know what all.
Correct. We can do that. Yeah, we
Right?
can do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we
Or
can do
maybe
that.
you can give REST APIs, and maybe APIs there, expose it, and you can use it in some other website. Is that allowed? Is that there? That feature?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm just
Exactly right.
guessing. Okay.
Correct.
See, based on what I see here, the compatible technologies are these. Okay.
Hmm.
And the technologies that you're talking about, like JavaScript and even Java, also,
HTML.
I think my personal take will be they are not compatible.
Okay.
Actually, there's not much to do with this
Mm.
Power BI. Not much to do with the Power BI.
Right. Not much to do with the Power BI, but when we come into designing a form or a particular web application where I had to capture the data instead storing in Excel basically. So probably this solution what I was just looking for, I thought HTML, CSS, Java, JavaScript would help me. But again, within my Power Platform, I have got Power Apps and Power Pages, wherein they also demand this basic knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I am
Yeah,
just checking
got
my
it.
ways, as per your expertise, whether this will become two roads for me or will it cross
No, no,
both?
not at
Yeah.
all. See, if you just need to know how to build forms, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So HTML, okay, let me just put it like this. HTML and CSS, little bit of CSS and JavaScript
Mm-hmm.
is not much. Okay, I would say you should not take more than a month or two. Okay, maybe let's say
Okay.
if you spend around 2 months, it's more than enough. 2 months and a
Okay.
little bit of practice, and you'll be fine. Okay, you don't have to go deep into it, like going into React or some Angular too much, but
Mm-hmm.
you must know a little bit of HTML. Okay, I'll can I tell you something very quick for you to just get started with these things?
Please, please, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you something like really awesome website. It's like
Yeah.
very
Oh.
famous one.
Mhm. Yeah, WordPress, I've heard about WordPress and I will have little bit of idea about WordPress, but can we use WordPress over Power BI? Power BI is different and WordPress is different, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. So here is the go-to place for you, and it's very comfortable, very easy, very simple to learn. Just focus on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript here.
Mm,
And again, HTML part is okay. So this is like, you can try it out here. The W3 Schools is like the top resource for learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And you don't even need anything. You can just try it out yourself here itself in the website.
yeah,
You
I've
can
seen
try
that.
something and you can
Mm,
change here. So just change something here and just run it here, and then you can actually see it working. Okay. You
yeah,
can practice that HTML. So again, in HTML, you don't need to go to a lot of depth. If you can contact me and I can tell you like what is it that you need to focus on, the bare minimum basics. Okay. For
okay,
example, but you don't need this HTML APIs. Okay.
okay,
You don't need to get into HTML media videos. It's all useless. Canvas SVG, not at all required. Okay. HTML forms, this is something that you need to look at.
exactly,
You have to
yeah,
learn this.
okay, okay,
So there's some things that you need to learn, some things you don't need to touch. So if you just focus on what you need to learn, you can easily pick it up. Okay. Similarly,
okay,
with JavaScript and CSS, I'll show you. CSS also, you can CSS actually, I will say, like just learn some bare minimum and don't need to go into such depth. This is a lot,
mm,
okay, for you,
oh,
because you're not coming from that background. That's the reason why I'm saying it's a lot and it's
exactly,
not needed also. It's like
mm,
a waste of time. This is, for example, there is Z index here. This is
mm,
not required. I mean,
okay,
this is for overlaying this image one behind the other. I mean, I don't think
oh,
you need this kind of CSS, right? You just need some
no, no,
basics.
we
But
don't
you
need
need
this,
you need to know some basics. If you know a little
yeah,
bit of basics, you can practice and you'll be fine. And JavaScript also, again, there's a lot here. And for example, there is object JavaScript objects. You don't need this. You have, yeah, this is required. You need to know JavaScript statements, comments, variables, and string and arrays and dates not required, math not required, random maybe little bit. If else, yeah, if else for etc. you require, break etc. you require, sets a little bit. But there's some things which you need, which you don't need also. Okay. But
Okay,
it's
okay.
a it's just like this. I see. You just have to face your fear. I feel that you're uncomfortable with programming. That's what I'm feeling. Coding. Are you?
I,
Coding
no,
means like this
I
loop for loop, that kind of coding.
let me tell you frankly,
Yes.
Sridhar, the only problem is repetitiveness. So
Hmm.
whenever I got some problem, I search internet or I look for some solution, right? I do it. Then later, I don't get that particular scenario, back into my life. If I wanted to learn HTML or CSS or JavaScript, I would look for only particular solution wherein that repetitiveness is always, missing in my work or in my life, I would say, right? So to remember something, we have to do something repetitive or we have to do in, day out, right? That was always missing. And whenever I try to learn this particular thing, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, right? Somebody would suggest that, there are so many low code platforms. Why don't you go with that? Power Apps is one of the low code or no code, right? Low
Hmm.
code platform, right? They would suggest Bubble to me. They would suggest something else to me. I'm literally, getting lost in, what to do on this particular aspect. Basically, I just wanted to talk to a mentor, who can guide me where I'm
Yeah.
just looking for a solution to develop a form. But at the back end, I would also use SQL. I've also started learning SQL because Power BI demands SQL for that. So I have a little knowledge about SQL as well, but how to set up that, how to go with that. Will that be corporate ready where I can give that solution in the organization.
What's the
So
low code platform that you said? What's the name of the low code platform you're saying?
a bubble like, yeah,
Hmm.
bubble.io, and we also have Zoho. We also have I've heard so many names, I don't remember. And Power Apps is also one of the low code platform. Power Pages,
So,
yeah.
what's the kind of complexity that you have in your project? I mean, what kind of forms? How many fields are there in the forms? What kind of forms?
I have around
Tell me more.
20 to 25 fields, Sridhar,
Hmm.
wherein there are some dependency fields also, wherein there will be 60 users where I have to give individual logins to them. And we have managers. We have a team who manages the data analytics. And that is my team basically. So we would be the admin. We would want to, capture that particular data. But, I wanted to integrate a lot of forms into that. While capturing this particular data, I just wanted to also, pull in few of the fields, to the other forms as well. And I just need to integrate this.
Are you guys okay to are willing to spend money on low code platforms? Because I know some of them are very expensive. That's why I was asking.
uh, See, I'm from data analytics, so I would want to try it out myself. Then I would like to give that suggestion, to the to my people, yeah, to my manager
So it
basically.
depends on the platform. See, low code
Mm.
platforms can be a good start. I won't say it's a bad start. I mean, because it's
Okay,
just like drag and drop, and then you're getting your
correct.
forms ready. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, anybody who doesn't know coding also very comfortably able to design all the forms, drag and drop, and put
Mm-hmm.
everything and put the logic, everything working fine. So local
Okay,
platform also, I would not say it's a bad idea. It's definitely a good idea because this is not something that you need to know. It's just like one-off requirement. You don't keep getting this requirement, right? So, but
okay,
as long
okay,
as these platforms are like affordable, and if your company is like ready to afford, you can try out some low code platform. Just download it, start working on it. Create some forms and try it out. I mean,
okay.
for that you don't need any kind of expertise. Generally, you don't need anything for that. It's just like anybody can do it. It's like that.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, but if it is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, if you have to get some expertise, like I said, you will require at least like a month or two to get up to speed where you are. I mean, to come to that stage where you're able to build so many forms and put them together, I would say you'll require a month or two, minimum around a month or two is at least.
oh, oh, okay. So,
Local
so
platforms is a
how?
good start, I would say. Go for it.
Acha, okay. And how many hours do I have to dedicate daily, for when you said month or two, and how many?
Yeah. So, okay, I'll just put a plan for that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's say if you want to learn this JavaScript and HTML and CSS, okay. So I'll tell you, I did like a 45-day program with
Okay.
WAL, and they were like freshers, and like we started from scratch. We started from HTML,
Mm.
to CSS and JavaScript, and we did React, and then we did Node.js,
Oh,
we did Express, and
Express.
we also
Okay.
did some bit of DB, and we did
Okay.
MongoDB,
Oh,
lot of things like that. Okay,
okay.
MongoDB, DB, yeah, almost like the whole thing. Okay,
Everything in 45 days?
yes, 45 days, 45
How
working
many
days.
how
E-
many working hours? Okay.
Every day, 8 hours.
Oh, okay. Full day.
Like
Okay.
full time. Like
Oh, okay.
they were like full time training. It was like a full time training. So I was giving
Oh,
them assignments,
okay.
uh, and I was giving them some projects,
Oh, nice.
and they were working on projects and assignments, and they were submitting, and I was evaluating and giving them. Okay.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to ask me, if you just need, okay, you need at least one framework. From what you said, with the kind of things that you described, you need a framework,
Okay.
and or you can do it with Node.js and Express.js. That's also okay. So from
Okay.
what you said, okay, if you're going to get into this zone, React, it's like a lot of work. Okay, there's a lot of learning here. Okay,
Okay.
but if you really need it, then you can go for it. I mean, do you need a single page application, like, or is it okay
Multi-page.
if it's not a single page application?
No, it is a multi-page application. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what I mean by single page application is like Gmail, right? So
Right.
it doesn't reload the whole page when you click on some page. Okay, just,
Acha.
you remember
Uh,
15 years back when you used to click on pages, the whole thing will reload, the whole page
Correct.
will reload, right?
Okay. Okay.
So single page application is just like you click and there's just the route changes and then the whole thing works. So is that a requirement that you need something like that, or is it okay if you go full round trip and it works?
I don't think I would read in round trip, but I know I might have multiple modules,
Do
within
you know
it. So
VB.NET?
no, I know VB little, as we do it in VBA. I have, a knowledge on modules,
What are the programming
flexibility.
languages that you know?
I know VB actually. Yeah, VBA for applications. Yeah, within the Excel we use it, right, to automate Excel. Yeah.
Okay, so VB.NET is very much similar to it. So I would say
Hmm.
if you really want to learn something, go for ASP.NET with
Okay.
VB.NET, VB.
With VB dot. Okay.
VB.NET, ASP.NET MVC application.
Mm.
And forget about React, Node.js, etc. You can just create an MVC application.
Okay.
And yeah, this requires a little bit of learning, and little bit of JavaScript and CSS and HTML is also required. So I would
Okay.
say if you have to spend some, I mean, if I just have to put some number of hours, like let's say HTML, if you work on it for a weekend, it's more than enough. CSS, if you work on it for maybe a weekend or two, it's enough. Okay,
Okay.
and JavaScript would require some time. Okay, to because there's a lot there. Okay, maybe like 3 weekends. Okay, let's say. Say ASP.NET, if you have to spend some time on it, I would say
Mm.
to get the bare things, I mean, the basic things working and learning things, I would say at least like 4 to 5 weekends. Maybe let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put 4 weekends. So I would
Okay.
say like 8 weekends if you can dedicate. Okay.
Hmm.
So you can be like in a position to actually create the forms, build the whole thing. Okay. If you can spend 8 weekends.
Okay. So do you also teach, Sridhar? As I
Yes,
said,
yes, I
when you
do
take
teach.
it.
I do teach, and yeah, I can teach myself, or I can give you direction of how to proceed, or I can give you some kind of a hackathon where I'll give you some kind of challenges. Like I'll say, okay, design this form. I'll just show you
Okay.
what the form is like. I'll say, okay, style this form. Okay,
Okay.
okay, okay, add JavaScript to this form now. Something like
Hmm.
that. So it'll be like you have to do it yourself, and while
Okay.
doing, you learn it. That's one
Acha.
style of it.
Okay.
Okay, I think that works well than a lot
Okay.
of theory and going through things. Okay,
Okay.
that's one style hackathon, or like I can go through modules, and or else I can give you some recorded courses that I already have. Means I
Okay.
taught all of this, and all of these are like recorded. You can
Okay.
go through my courses.
Acha. The 45-day course what you have taken for WAL, are
Yes,
those recorded? Yeah. Okay.
yes, they are recorded. I
Oh.
can give you that.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Great.
You can go through that.
Okay. Okay.
I've edit that, and yeah, you can go through that. So you can go through that, and I can give you some, or if you want some customized suggestions, I can even go through the whole thing also for you. Okay.
Acha. Okay.
Because
Probably.
I'm going to start some full stack. See, full
Mhm.
stack. I want to start some kind of webinars and teaching and
Mhm.
etc. So weekly, one day I will be giving classes. Weekly
Okay.
one
Great.
day. So in that I'll be explaining, and weekly one day I'll be having hackathon,
Okay.
practical. One
Okay.
day I'll be teaching some theory.
Oh,
So
okay.
every week I'll teach some theory and hackathon, and that's how it will go.
Okay. Great. Great. So how do we be part of that?
Yeah. So yeah, just get in touch with me. I'll give you my WhatsApp group link. Just get in touch with
Sure.
me, and then
Yeah.
we'll
Link
take
tree.
it forward from that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Sure.
So here is my Linktree link. Just take the link here. So this has my WhatsApp group, Facebook group, etc. Get in touch with me through the
Sure.
WhatsApp group, and then we'll talk.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk to you.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe I think I should spend at least one-on-one with you. We'll
Mhm.
have a one-on-one. There's a Calendly link also in this. If you click on this, there's a Calendly link.
Okay.
So I'll give a free one-on-one, and I'll discuss with you on that, and we'll discuss in that.
Pleasure. Pleasure. Yeah.
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 Okay. I
Great.
hope it was helpful for you.
Yeah.
Going in the right
Definitely.
direction.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, Sridhar.
Okay.
When I saw you, saw your post on Meetup, full stack Launchpad. You did not mention UI or about the. We have so many, this has become a jargon now. This has become a style now in the market, saying that full stack BI, full stack UI, full stack. There are so many full stacks.
Yeah.
This thing, in the market, right? So I thought, chalo, let me join this and see, what it is. I joined at the last minute, but you were going through HTML, CSS. So I thought, chalo, it is full stack UI. So I thought, that was my question basically. How do we get into the full stack? Earlier, somebody would have worked on .NET or somebody would have C. That was enough. Now, this full stack is booming. Like, they're attaching so many technologies into that, wherein, they are asking expertise in, all those levels. At least, in a scale of 5 to 10, they are expecting 6 to 7 in all the scales, right? And how do we manage? I had also the question, as I said, the repetitiveness is always missing in learning something. That has been always challenging to me, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. So my program is like a membership. Okay. It's not like a course that, you
Okay.
finish the course and it's over. It's like an
Right. Okay.
ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a lifetime thing. Okay. You can
Okay.
always keep coming back again and again, and you can keep doing all the hackathons again and again. I keep improving my hackathons. I keep taking classes. It's like a lifetime membership.
Oh, okay. Okay. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that, you'll have a lot of opportunity to practice and learn and, become good at it.
Sure. Sure. Okay. Okay. So I'll get in touch with you, and thank you so much
Sure.
for your time. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Yes. So thank you. So I'll just summarize what we did, the whole thing. Okay. Let's just summarize what we did, the whole session. Okay. Is that okay? Now
Yes,
let's
please,
just
please.
summarize. Yeah. Let's summarize. So what we did, let's start from the beginning. So we started with this saying that, we are in an IT world, and, India is like in the center of the world in IT services export, and we are talking about multiple technologies, and full stack development is like really big, growing big. Okay. We just want a small share of it as, developers working in this industry. So, and then I said, what is the meaning of a stack? Okay. When you stack things up, okay, one on top of the other, right? So it's like the database, middleware, and the front end. So it's like stacking up three things, one on the top of the other. So front end is something that the user is like facing it. Okay. Database is like the internal thing, and middleware is like the programming server part of it. I gave an example of a restaurant, and here is a restaurant, and you're calling a server, and then you're ordering something from the menu, and the server is bringing your order, and the server is actually going and giving the order to a chef, and the chef is preparing your food and bringing it back for you. And then similarly, just like you, there are many people there who are ordering food from the server, and the server is actually going and, giving the right food to the right people. Okay. Well, I said that, this menu and this, like the entire room which looks beautiful, this is your front end. It's like the front end. Okay. In the back end is like where the food is actually getting prepared. So that's like the parallel for our development. So this is called as a client. So we are here, and the server is a piece of software which takes requests, and then you give inputs for it, and then you get the response for it, and then it actually has to go back to the back end. Server is going to the database, just like how going back to the kitchen and preparing and coming back, has to go through the tables, and then fetch the records, do some processing, and then response. That's what is happening here. Okay. And then I was talking about, if you want to become a full stack developer, like what all skills that you need. I was saying that, if you want to be a full stack developer, we start with the programming language. I mean, of course, this looks very overwhelming here, but if you just crack it like step by step, it works. Okay. You need to be a master of one programming language in the back end, one programming language in the front. Of course, front end back programming language, you don't have many options. It's just JavaScript and TypeScript. Back end, you have many options. Node.js is there. That's JavaScript again. Or it can be Java, it can be Python, it can be C++, it can be C#, it can be VB.NET also. Okay, it depends upon your preference and your way. But of course, like if you ask me what's doing really well, Java is doing well, Python is doing well, and JavaScript is doing absolutely really very well. And C# is okay. It's like a little bit okay. VB.NET is also okay, fine. Not so great, but okay, fine. There is some opportunity there also. But at least, yeah, but it's a nice technology. I like C#. You can build nice apps with that. It always works. It's good. No complaints with respect to technology, just about the adoption. Now, the front-end frameworks, you need to know some front-end framework here. Even before I talk about front-end framework, you need to know some basics. The basics are, you need to know JavaScript well, CSS well, and HTML well. These are the basics. And you can, a little bit of Linux, to be able to do the commands and do the deployments, etc. You need to know the basics of API, because when you're building single page applications, you need to interact with the APIs. Okay. So API, the de facto standard is the REST APIs, and then you need to know a little bit of microservices. Okay. And then I was talking about the front end, you need to know some framework like React.js or Angular or Express or Vue.js or jQuery. Not all of them, one of them. Because if you're going to learn all of them, it's going to take really long time. Just pick one and learn it. Angular is a good start. React can be a little confusing because React is very good, but it's like you have to assemble a lot of things. Angular is like everything is available right there, okay, as a framework. So that's why I would say if you're learning this, maybe Angular is also a good idea, not a bad thing to do. Okay. And database, you need to know RDBMS technologies, NoSQL technologies, Postgres, QL, MySQL, SQL Server, or NoSQL, MongoDB, Cassandra, and caching, Hazelcast, and Redis, and message brokers like Kafka and RabbitMQ. Can know a little bit of all this. So if you have this kind of a profile, like you are really good, and definitely you will be like hot in the market. Market will always be preferring. So I was saying it's like a marathon, and it's like climbing a big hill. So it always starts with one step at a time. Okay. The main point I said is like, don't stop. So as long as you're putting one step at a time, over time you can make it. The challenge in full stack development is that you have to learn a lot of technologies and you have to integrate all of them. That's where the complexity lies. Otherwise, full stack is not really difficult. So what's the difficulty is, in the complexity in assembling all this together. But then it takes time, but it's fine. Take one step at a time. Don't stop. Keep going. Okay. So I was saying like some basic format of how an interview would be and what kind of things that they will look in your resume. And I was saying, like, one of the participant was saying, I don't have time at all. I was saying, okay, if you can spend 20 minutes per day, also just 20 minutes per day, 6 days a week, 6 days a week. So it's almost like 120 minutes, 2 hours per week. And if you have like 1 year, it's how much? 108 hours. And if you take some holidays and extra time off, 70 to 200 hours you have. So in a year, you have 200 hours. That's a lot. You don't need so much. I said 45 in my 45-day program. I said that I taught the whole bunch of technologies, right? Starting from HTML to CSS to JavaScript to Express.js to Node.js to regular expressions to SQL. You don't need even 45 days. Okay. Maybe just take half, 20 days to master it. So 20 days is how much? 20 to 8. that is 160 hours. You need 160 hours, but you have 200 with you. So you can easily do it. I mean, this is the worst case where you have only 20 minutes. But if you have more time, if you can spend some weekends, so 160 hours, how much? If you can spend, let's say, uh, 6 hours per week, okay, how much? It's much faster, right? Or if, yeah, 6 hours and then it's like, so approximately like and 40, 6, right? So something like that. So you can make it. I mean, if you spend more time, you can be faster. Okay, so you can reduce this also. So what I believe in is that, I believe that the technologies, they come with a lot of unnecessary stuff, and there's a lot of noise and a lot of dust. I can like help you to clear out all that dust, and I can just say what is needed. Okay, what's not needed, and I just focus on what's needed. What's not needed, I'll say don't waste time. So I was saying, if you have to really learn JavaScript, you have to learn, I was just giving an example, okay? String, functional, ESX, and object-oriented regex, dates. Just for some example, I was just telling that you need to know all of this. Yeah, and then we had the question, and then we were talking about compatible technologies and incompatible technologies, and I was saying, go with what's compatible and avoid what's incompatible. Okay. And yeah, and then like we had the discussions, detailed discussions on Power BI plus integrations. So that was about it. So I hope you got some value out of this session. Thank you guys till
Yes.
for staying till the end. Yes.
Yeah.
I hope you like the session. Thank you guys.
Yes, yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Then just get in touch with me and
Yeah.
stay in touch, because in the coming weeks I'm starting some hackathons on full stack development,
Okay.
and we're going to go full speed from there. Okay, like
Okay. So for that, we have to have a prerequisite knowledge of HTML, CSS.
there's no prerequisite, nothing. You don't need
Okay.
to know anything for that.
Oh, okay. Fine. So I'll just so you'll post that in the WhatsApp group, right, Sridhar? About this
Yes,
details.
yes,
Okay. Okay.
yes.
Great. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Sridhar. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you guys. Good night, and see you
Yeah.
again
Yeah.
in my
Good night.
next classes. So I do this Sunday webinar morning 11 o'clock. I do something called as 3 secrets for IT skills mastery.
Yeah.
So that's like a webinar. I do a weekly webinar. So if you're interested, you can join that as well. Okay.
Fine.
So
Fine.
that's
Yeah.
like,
I missed it last week. Yeah. I would love to join this week.
fine.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye and good night.
Bye. Bye.